Hi, I'm Vinny.
Hello, I'm Alex and welcome back to Pro Car Show, and today we are going to be talking about the differences of sport tyres, summer tyres, all-season tyres and winter tyres.
So this is a summer tyre. It's a Continental Conti Sport 5. It's a well-known tyre brand in the UK. So looking at this tyre, as you can see, mind the so-called stand. As you can see, first thing, 4 straight lines. Now, winter tyres, which we're going to show you throughout the video, they have a completely different tread type, which is for grip in colder climates or in ice and snow. Now, a summer tyre is mainly for use above 7 degrees. So over 7 degrees, you're gonna get the added benefit of better traction, better braking distances and better fuel economy. They are also less noisy, apparently, but they are also less noisy than, say, a winter tyre. Looking on the side of the tyre, you will also see different decibel ratings and things like that.
Yes, you don't want to forget that all tyres have their own decibel ratings, their own wet grip ratings, dry grip ratings and obviously cold weather ratings. These ones haven't got the 3 peak certification, so obviously these tyres are generically a summer tyre. These are not a sport tyre, even though it is a sport contact. I wouldn't put them in a high class sport bracket. It's nothing like your Pirelli PZ0s or anything that's going to be super sticky, like maybe a Michelin Pilot Sport. These are just an all-round summer tyres, and the grip in the winter on these type of tyres is awful. I took them straight off my car. As soon as I braked in the snow, I just slid. I was only doing about 10 miles an hour, so it really goes to show that below 7 degrees and in cold, icy and slush temperatures, these are really not the safest tyres to be on.
I mean, we're quite lucky, especially in the south of England.
We don't really get any, but when we do get it, we don't know how to drive in the snow because we're southerners.
It becomes a problem.
we can't go to work, so we're not like the northerners. You get to go to work, we just chicken out and we say, well, go on, stay home.
We're shut down.
We shut down.
All the buses stop, schools close. So why would you buy a summer tyre? Why would you buy a summer tyre?
Well, why I would buy a summer tyre is because I want optimal grip in the summer, obviously. I want to go around a corner, with a bit of aggression. I want to have full control of the car. I don't want to be losing traction. Then I'll go with a summer tyre. If I was going to a track, and I was like a dry track, well then I would want sports tyres, not complete slicks, but I would want a really soft compound. Now this is a soft compound when they warm up. Take a little bit longer to warm up than say other tyre brands. But we aren't doing a video on just this manufacturer. This is just a generic look of the tread patterns for a summer tyre. But you can see that the tread has actually got a different feel to a cross climate or a winter one. It's rougher. It's a bit softer. So obviously when it heats up, it moulds into the tarmac a bit more to give you that grip. But also with a soft tyre, when it does heat up, you will contract debris from the road. So these tyres have got stones left, right and centre. They're everywhere. Oh, that's a big one there. Luckily that's actually gone into the deepest part of the tread. But these hold up well with grip, but not very good in the rain or in the winter. Now,
how much would this sort of this tyre cost? This Continental Conti Sport 5.
This tyre, when purchased in 2019, would have been around the cost of £152, including VAT. That's fitted.
Okay.
So it's not about price. It's an 18-inch wheel. It's a 235/45 18, but it's still at the high end. Not a lot of people want to pay this money, which is why a lot of people go for budgets, and then they worry.
I feel that it's a very big subject on cars because
this is what keeps you safe.
Yeah, this is what keeps you on the road.
Yep.
Whereas people always want to go for the cheapest option.
Yeah, and that's just because they want to save money.
I've been guilty of that.
Oh, Don't get me wrong, I've been caught short and I've had to go for a budget because I didn't, that you're meant to always have the same tyres on each axle. So for example, I had 2 Continentals on the front, Continentals Contisport 5s. I got a puncture. The garage only had Falcons, and I thought, oh well, I'll just put one on. But for higher advanced cars like a 4Motion or Audi Quattros, things with a 4-wheel drive or very smart high-end differentials, the gearbox can't cope with having 2 different radiuses on one axle. So you've got to have the same size tyre on each one. And now you might think, well, a 245, 45, 18 is the same across all tyres. You're wrong, because I can give you 2 different manufacturers of 245 or 235, 45, 18s. I'll put them up next to each other and I can guarantee you that there is a slight difference in the height of the actual tyre, which can actually bring up ECS control faults.
ABS, yeah.
ABS, I've had that.
In fact, we had one in the garage about 2 weeks ago. A Volkswagen Golf R.
Yes, we did actually. Yeah, thinking about that. That was because of 2 different tyres. One was a Michelin and one was an Avon?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. But it was.
I'm not as technical as you.
It was two different tyres. Both had the same amount of grip. He was unfortunate and he got a puncture within 150 miles. But this puncture was so excessive it had to be replaced. But the garage who'd done it beforehand had put on a different tyre rather than putting the same tyre back on, and doing that it threw up a fault with the ECS under gentle acceleration up a hill, or just gentle acceleration. The ECS, the gearbox, wasn't coping. It was basically saying, I've got a wheel going too fast here, and now it sounds weird, like how can a couple of mil be a bit different? But
it goes on the circumference, doesn't it?
Yes, circumference of the speed. Obviously, your wheel speed sensors obviously tell you how fast the wheels are going, and obviously, I'll just take for example, a VW 4Motion cannot have any more than 4 millimeters difference circumference-wise on the same axle. So if you've got a tyre that's on, 2.5 mil, still just legal, bear in mind 1.6 is the legal limit, and then you had a brand new tyre put on that same axle, you will get a fault. And if worst case scenario, over a long time, could eventually damage your differential, which is a very expensive thing to replace. So I really wouldn't want to risk it for the price of 170 quid for a tyre, or what, $5,000 for complex DSG box gearbox rebuilds. Oh yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather do that on a miss.
I think Volkswagen diffs and stuff aren't that reliable anyway. The Haldex.
Yeah, some of the Haldex.
We won't talk about that now.
That's another time.
Yeah, we'll get on that another time.
Talk about them.
So let's move on. We've got another tyre here.
We've got another tyre.
We've got an all-season.
Got an all-season tyre here.
Michelin.
This is a Michelin. This is a Michelin Climate Cross Plus. This is exactly the same size alloy and the same size tyre as the one we've just taken off. But even to my eye, this looks beefier.
It looks beefier, and it also, to me, I'm not a pro when it comes to tyres, but to me this looks just like a winter tyre.
It does look like a winter tyre, and that is just what the kind of design they've tried to aim for.
But it's all season. So
it is all season.
You could use this still in the summer, if you drove out abroad to Spain, if you've had your jabs.
Yeah,
you could use it, whereas a traditional winter tyre, it wouldn't be recommended.
No, so for example, as an all-season tyre performs great below and above 7 degrees Celsius. And another reason why this is good in the winter, this doesn't mean that it is the tread pattern, but this doesn't mean this is a snow tyre. So these big siphoning grooves is helping to cut, when it goes round, cut into snow, slush and mud and disperse it out the channels to give you optimal grip. Rather than on what you saw on the Continental summer tyre, where you had straight grooves, it's a continuous grip. It hasn't got anywhere to go anywhere. You end up just spinning on the spot, rather than these try to cut in and give you that kind of grip. Now, I've drove in the snow with these, and I had no fault with confidence. I've drove with the Continental summer tyres because I just got caught short. I just thought, we're only having a rainy season down south. We'll be all right. Yeah, bloody snow came along, and I got caught short, and I tried to stop at the end of the road doing 10 miles an hour, and I just slid about 20 feet, went straight into the main road. So at that point, I knew that them tyres were redundant for winter times. So I got my other alloys out, put these all climate ones on, and a little secret is, this is what the ambulance service in the UK are meant to use all season, and I think that's because they're a very safe tyre. They can do all year round. There's no risk of the ambulance service going, oh no, I can't.
They're also a lot harder wearing, aren't they?
Yes,
They've got a longer.
They are harder
longer
wearing.
life.
So they've got so to keep them of optimal grip in all weathers, they've got a really balanced silica content.
Okay.
So on a winter tyre, you've got high silica content. And
see, he does his homework.
So these were more going towards a more natural rubber. So any winter tyre and an all-season tyre have a lot more natural tyre than the summer tyres would have. They have a little bit more silica in them, and that is just to keep... A little bit more what? Silica. Not silicon. Silica. Oh. And that is to keep the actual mouldings of the tyre flexible under 7 degrees. Summer tyre, when it gets cold, the actual tread hardens, therefore doesn't flex so much. So if you think tarmac is sandpaper, and you just got a gloss, say you had a glass ball, and it would just slide over it. Scratch it, but it'll slide over it. Now if you got, a bit of sandpaper and a bit of sandpaper, you're going to get a bit more friction, aren't you? Higher friction. So if something can stay mouldable and warmer and flex more, then it's going to grip better. They also give a very good miles to the tyre. Now I'm pretty sure this tyre, the Michelin Cross Climate Plus, came out in 2017. It has now been replaced by the Plus. Well, it's not Plus 2, it's just number 2. That came out in September 2021. The first Cross Climate come out in 2015, and each one has got significant better mileage. Michelin claim that it does, it's got more longevity in it, more grip, more dry grip, and that happens over years. All tyres get better over years. Any manufacturer can get better over years. It all comes with testing and experimenting and finding better ways.
It is worth noting with tyres like this. This is actually an arrow, so you can't put this on both sides of your car. You can this would only be able to go on the left side. If it was to go on the right side, it'd be back to front. This is like an arrow.
So these are rotational. It does say on the wall of the tyre, which
it's got the
probably going to struggle to find it now.
Rotation.
It's got the rotation on it, and it will say rotation. Just trying to see where it is now. But the rotation is going that way. It's going forward. So this, when you actually go into the dirt, it cuts into it. It's not like a motorbike though. Let's just quickly get something different. On a motorbike, the tread goes backwards.
Okay.
I'm not even going to get into that. It's going to be a completely long subject. Okay, but on a motorbike one, the actual treads go on the front tyres. They go backwards. It's a grip thing. This is actually got the 3 Peak Mountain certification. So this is actually a summer tyre, but registered as a winter tyre, giving it the all-season tyre because of the actual rubber compound, the silica base, and the tread patterns. It gives you optimal grip in all weather. And if I was doing a lot of mileage on a motorway, a lot of travelling, I would highly recommend these tyres. They are a little bit noisy, as Vinny said. Cameraman was saying to me. As Vinny said before, that the summer tyres are quieter. Yes, they are quieter than winter tyres all season or run flats. We'll get on to run flats and winter tyres in a memento. So we're just going to move on.
We'll have to get a picture of it up actually for the winter tyre.
Well, we're going to go full snow, full screw stuff.
Now we're on to winter tyres. So as you can see here, this is a winter tyre. We haven't actually got one, so we are superimposing an image. So why buy winter tyres? Well, winter tyres actually improve your grip in the snow, grip in the ice, as you can see from these diagrams here. So if you were braking at 50 kilometers an hour which is 30 miles per hour in UK speed. Your braking distance on snow would be 35 metres compared to summer tyres, which is 43 metres. Now, the same test on ice would give you a braking distance of 57 metres at 20 miles an hour, which is 30 kilometres, and on summer tyres 68 metres. So you can see it's actually a huge difference. Now, if you know, depending on where you are in the UK, if you live in a remote area, then a winter tyre is a must, especially you know, as you go further up.
Yep.
In Scotland, in Aviemore, places like that, they get the most snow compared to anywhere else in the UK. I actually love the snow, but you guys carry on up there. We seem to grind to a halt down here. Yeah, it's just not right.
Yeah, we kind of like melt away when it's hot, and we kind of cry about that. Yeah, I think that's just us Brits, to be fair.
Cold,
we just cry about the weather, no matter what the weather is. It's either too hot, too cold. But yes, in winter conditions, as Vinny was just saying, is that the design of the tyre is what gives you the optimal grip. So on a winter tyre, you've got wider grooves than what you saw of our Michelin Cross Climate. It has wider grooves, and they have little studs in them to give you that optimal grip. Now that's a snow tyre. We're having the metal studs in them for which was ideal for if you're just in snow all the time. But
it depends if you're a European traveller as well. If you go to parts of Europe, especially
so like Hungary, for example, you can only drive a car with cross climate tyres. That is their law. You don't get a choice of having a summer tyre or a winter tyre. You have to have all season tyres all year round. A lot of Hungarians do moan because all season tyres are a lot more expensive than just your normal summer tyre or just your winter tyre, because you're paying for them both best of both worlds. You've got to pay.
But it's easier because in Germany, I'm not sure if it's a paid for service, but I do believe the manufacturers keep a set of winter tyres for winter, and then you go there and swap them over. Maybe somebody that knows a bit more about other German road laws could clear that up. And I know in parts of Italy, having been through there in the snow, they do have a compulsory law that you do need snow chains in the vehicle.
Yes, that's true.
So yeah, there's lots of different rules. Yeah. And I know in France as well, you've got to have a breathalyzer kit.
You've got to have the GB badge on the back of your car and stuff like that. And if you ride a motorcycle, you have to have reflective stickers on your helmet. There's a lot of, you've always got to have daytime running lights in places like the Netherlands. You've got to have daytime running lights. So there's lots of laws over vehicles in all different sorts of the countries and other countries out there. Most of Europe has a very similar thing.
We will get onto that. If you check out, click our like and subscribe on the right side of your screen. We will be updating with lots of new content for various videos.
Boys and our toys.
Boys and the toys, yeah. We kind of like to think.
We're like any other bloke out there. Yeah. We're still young, wishing we were young inside.
As you can see, all these grey hairs. So
they are coming through. The recede is strong with this one. That's why you got the comb over for yours. But we are boys a lot.
Anyway, let's get on. We're talking about tyres. We're going really off subject. So why would you buy a winter tyre, Alex?
Well, I'd buy a winter tyre if I was in the snow and if I was going to be in icy conditions all the time for my safety.
Okay.
Well, what would you rather do? Go out on a summer tyre that you thought, it's a premium summer tyre, I'm going to use that all year round. It snows, so you've got heavy, say you're in Leeds for example, it snowed, you've got 6 inches of snow. You're trying to get off your driveway, which is probably like a 15-degree angle because you're coming out on the road, because it's quite hilly over in Leeds as well. Yeah. You might get stuck trying to get off your driveway. That means you can't go to work, that means you can't earn money to buy them winter tyres you should have got. And that is the reason why. Now, if you can't stop on a road with other road users on the road, then you're a danger to the society around you. If you brake and you slide and you lose control of your car because you haven't got the adequate tyres to contact the road and give you that grip. Now I'm not saying having a winter tyre is going to be like driving with summer tyres in the snow. It's not. It's really not. But it gives you a bit more confidence whilst driving in the snow. It also gives you a bit more like safety to you and other drivers.
8 meters just at 30 mile an hour is huge though. When you think of a
8
braking
meters.
distance.
That's you know, you think of you and a rough estate. Any estate car is roughly around 2.2 meters. Let's just say roughly, approximately, because I could go to a Passat, I'll go to an Audi A4, Avant.
So you've got four big cars.
Yeah.
So
say if you hit a car that was stationary in traffic because you were travelling, say you're only doing 30 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour. Well, it was 20 miles an hour or 30 miles an hour to the diagram.
No, it was 30 mile an hour on snow and 20 mile an hour on ice.
Right. Okay. So if
we rarely get.
Well, down here we haven't really got to worry about it. But other places in the UK might be questioning, why do I need winter tyres in the winter? And that to me would be for safety. If you had kids in your car, I don't think you would want to be driving out in summer tyres knowing that if you applied your brake at a roundabout, you might not go around that roundabout, you might try and go straight over. Now, we're not all the Dukes of Hazzards, we can't all do tricks and stuff, and I'm pretty sure your car's not designed to go over a curb straight on at 30 miles an hour. You could give it a go, might get a blowout, might bend some control arms, but
I'll ask my missus about that because...
oh yeah, she likes the bollards.
Yeah, she's hit bollards, she's bounced up curbs, but anyway, so
I could say something, but I'd get done.
No, don't do it, we'll get in trouble. So we'll, I think that's enough on winter tyres, we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Now we are on to sports tyres or performance tyres, whichever you want to call them.
Yes.
So these performance tyres are usually found, I would say you're looking at vehicles that are capable of speeds of probably 155, which is what most of the German ones are limited to.
Most cars, 300 brake horsepower plus, you're going to be putting, if you're people that have like a nice car, weekend cars, they're going to put sporty tyres on them, or if you're just like a track friendly guy or girl, you're going to be putting sticky tyres on them. You're going to be putting high performance vehicle tyres, and the problem is with them is, well, they wear real quick, they cost a lot, and they're rubbish in the winter.
They do cost a lot. Just to put this out there, that the manufacturers actually put a lot of time and research into giving them the optimum grip, especially around the track. So if you're doing a bit of both, especially at the high speeds, the structure and the heat generated at high speeds is phenomenal.
Yes.
So they need to be a good usable tyre for high performance cars.
Yeah. So for example, I wouldn't go out my way to purposely buy a sport racing tyre for just the road, because you will never. But then
some vehicles, if you get AMGs, BMW M5s, the likes of that, they do have them.
Do you want to know a little secret about them tyres?
Go on.
You won't be able to buy them off the shelf if you went to your normal quick fit.
Oh.
So for example, BMW.
I'm not rich enough to own.
So for example, BMW M Sports and stuff like that, they're designed with a tyre to give optimal grip around their test track.
Yep.
Now, there is other places out there where you'll be able to find this information. If you had, for example, a Pirelli P0, and I got it off a BMW from factory, and then I went and bought a Pirelli P0, and I put them up next to each other, there's slight differences in the tread pattern, because that vehicle was designed for them tyres around that racetrack. Now, these tyres are generic tyres for his Volkswagen Jetta, his Toyota Prius.
That's a business.
It's a business thing. I've got Pirelli N1s. They're on my Passat. They're a Porsche fitment.
Oh.
Porsche fitment.
But then, you saying that on this subject of things changing, you'd probably ask, it's exactly the same why a manufacturer would do that, is why a manufacturer make vehicles 150 brake horsepower when they can be remapped to 220 and still have years of life left in them, depending on the mapper you choose.
Yes,
so
yeah.
when you compare it to that respect, I think they just do it for a general market.
Yep.
So you've got Doris that wants to drive 5 miles to Sainsbury's, and then you've got Peter that wants to drive 200 miles a day just to work. So it's something stupid like that. It kind of it's got to be a real open thing. So if you wanted to go for the manufacturer's tyres, then you'd have to go back to the manufacturer.
And it's costly. It is costly. So, for example, them Continental Contisport 5s that I did show you, I can pick them off the shelf by a mobile tyre fitter for £162.
Fitted?
Fitted. That's fitted with dispose, of your old tyres with new valves. It's all included in the price.
Yeah.
Now VW would have charged me £225 for that one tyre.
But I think sometimes, depending, when it comes to resale, I must admit that a lot of people like the manufacturer's stamp, or an invoice from a manufacturer.
Yeah.
It gives you good peace of mind.
It gives you peace of mind if you trust that dealership and the actual manufacturer of the car. It will give you a peace of mind. But for me personally, tyre-wise, it's a tyre. As long as you're getting the appropriate tyre for the conditions you're driving in and how you drive, then it doesn't matter where you get the tyre from. But in my eyes, if you're looking at maintenance, then you could call me a dealer and a badge snob, but it goes to the dealership and it gets paid. If it needs 400, 500 quid, it gets 300, 400, 500 quid, whatever. It's that stamp. Retail, when I sell the car, it's got full dealer history. People want to see that, and I know it's been done properly, not from Joe Boggs around the corner that's been working on Mazdas all his life and then trying to have a go on a VW. It's same thing. A lot of people like Alphas, not a lot of garages, backstreet garages like to work on Alphas. They're too fiddly. Lots of things you've got to take off just to do one thing. Lots of different socket sizes everywhere. So not all garages want to do them.
But do Alphas have sports tyres?
Sorry?
Do Alphas have sports tyres?
I would have thought so, on probably their GTA models when they came out, which I don't think they do any GTAs anymore, do they?
No, they do the...
it's all Giulio Quadrifoglio.
I don't know how to pronounce
it took me about 3 years to learn that, mate.
So, any more on sports tyres? Because we're just waffling nonsense.
Oh, well,
we don't want to bore you.
Oh, yes, no, we don't. Other than a sports tyre will give you the maximum grip at a high temperature. So you're not going to get this high temperature driving around town. You're not going to get it on the motorway. This is a tyre built for doing excess speeds of 120 miles an hour and to give you optimal grip.
Where most of these cars are made in Germany, where they have no speed limits on the autobahn.
Yeah.
We can only do 70. Actually, no, that's a lie. Most places right now have 50
National speed.
Roadworks everywhere. Roadworks.
Yep. And I'm more worried about breaking down.
No, do you know what?
I do own a V-dub at the end of the day.
I'm more worried about the potholes. I mean, they're just astronomical. Anyway, we're waffling on.
Yep.
So
if you're in the UK and if you're up north, say, I'd say probably Coventry and above, I'd probably say go for an all season to be all good around, all year round. If you're down this way, you could get away with having a summer tyre for most of the time because we don't really see that much of the ice and snow. Yeah. It's very rare that we ever get it. You get a story every 4 years, but what's the point of putting more expensive tyres on your car if it's only going to be if it's over for 4 years? Yeah. So
yeah, I agree. I'd
say at the end of the day, it's all down to personal preference on where you drive, what weather you get, what you're willing to spend. But the one biggest thing I would say is avoid budgets. Now that's not me saying budgets are the worst tyre in the world.
I can agree to some extent with that. We could get into a big debate on this.
We could. What would you rather? If I turn around to you and said you're...
But it depends what I'm using the car for.
You got a 350 horsepower hatchback.
No.
You can put budgets on it.
No. Because that's a different context. We're not going to bore you with this debate. We're going to move on to now.
You answer this question. If you had a 350 horsepower full motion hatchback, would you put budgets on it over sport tyres? You tell me.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, you just say that.
But now we're going to move on to part-worn tyres.
Yes.
So, part-worn tyres everyone at some stage has either owned a car with Part 1 tyres fitted or bought them.
Yep, I'm one to that. I bought them when I was younger. Bought Part 1s from my garage. Had come with 6mm of tread, but they were a bargain.
Yeah,
did save a little bit of money on that, I have to say.
No odds. I mean, the legal limit in the UK is 1.6mm. You really would not want to be buying any tyres. I would have thought below 3mm. It's worth checking. You know, a lot of these small independents are fantastic. There's a local one I use down here called Hillsy Tyres. Used them for years, absolutely fantastic. Every single tyre I've bought from there always comes with about 5 or 6mm of tread.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to buy a Part 1, you've got to remember most new tyres come with 8mm of tread. If you were going to buy 3mm of tread for, say, £40 for the tyre, yes, it might be a premium tyre for £40 with 3mm of say 3mm of tread. That's more than half the tread worn on it. You've only got 1.7mm to use before that's out.
Yeah.
For 40 quid, to me, economy-wise, for my pocket, it's not worth it for my pocket.
But it
6mm, on the other hand, I've now just basically tripled my life on that tyre for 40 quid.
Yeah.
So it all does depend on the brand of tyre that they might be selling as a Part 1. But the Part 1, as much as it is legal to sell Part 1s, it is regulated strongly under the Motor Vehicle Act of 1994, because it can be a danger if they are sold with problems with the tyre, as they are not from manufacturer new.
You'll find a good independent tyre company that deals with Part 1s will also sell new. They're very experienced. They're not, you know, from what I've learned, they're not idiots when it comes to what they sell you, and a lot of them are very respectful if there is a problem, which, you know, unfortunately it is a moving part that does get warm, bounces off potholes. A lot of them, you go back and they'll sort you back out. Yeah. It's nice and simple in that respect, but it's also worth noting that I'm not sure when it come in, but it did come in now, that tyres all have an age on, and they're no longer allowed to be a certain age. They can now fail the MOT. Yeah. We'll put a link in the description below, so you can have a read on that and find out how to check that as well. It's worth noting because it could get you pulled over in 3 points.
That is because the tyre hardens, rubber naturally hardens. The more it, the older it gets, perishes as well, cracks. You get dry rot. So even if you think you're just putting it inside the garage and it's going to be great in 5 years' time, it's probably going to have dry rot if it's just sat there. You've got to remember, if you wrap them up and put them into storage, you've got to remember things sweat. If I wrapped anything up and put it in a container or in a room, it sweats. So if you, especially with rubber, it does have silica and bits in, and it can trap moisture in places. And if you did wrap that up when it had a little bit of moisture in, the moisture can't go anywhere. So it comes out, gets to the plastic, comes back in, gets warm, and it's just continuous wet. And what happens? Similar to your skin, goes all wrinkly, tyres crack. So they rot. So there is an age limit. I'm pretty sure it was around 7 years. I'm pretty sure it was a 7 years thing.
You're the geek.
We'll double check and put that in the description.
I don't do. Yeah, we'll put a link in the description. And if you like this video, don't forget to click on the right hand side of the screen. Subscribe to the channel for more content. So that's it for Part 1 tyres. We're now going to move on to budgets.
Now we're going to be talking about budget tyres.
Now, Alex hates budget tyres.
Yeah, bit in the bin.
I disagree. See, a budget tyre is, depending on what you've got, is, in my opinion, fantastic. You go out, right? Say completely, you've got a little Peugeot 107. And
so similar to the pair I put on my Fiesta.
yeah. So you've got a car like that. You don't need something that's speed rated at 160 mile an hour.
No, because it's never going to do that.
No, exactly. But the cost of it in something like that, just driving around town, the purpose is to save money.
Yeah.
They're
Now,
not-
it's my argument with the budgets I've experienced with in the past is that I do a lot of miles work. I do 125 miles a day.
But do you travel on the motorway?
I do a mixture of dual carriageway, motorway, and national country lanes.
Okay.
So I get every single road from towns to country lanes.
But then you're going on to an argument where you're looking at a tyre that is, I can't think of the word. You're going for a tyre. You're using it at higher speed. You're putting it under the more stress.
Yep. So, for example, budgets are not good for me.
No, but
This is the thing.
This is what, depending on the people, the car.
Yep.
Not everyone drives a little Fiesta and fills it with tools. You do.
Well, I do. I load the car up. Pick up.
Have you ever had it weighed? Do you
What, the car weighed?
I reckon it could be overweight.
No,
Please,
no.
if you're watching this, look out for a purple Fiesta
it
diesel.
Is. It is a Fiesta diesel. It's a big old 68 brake horsepower, my friend.
Purple.
It's blue.
Is it purple?
ST blue.
It's purple.
STI. I mean, sorry. That's ST.
So
No,
yeah,
wait.
pull it over.
So yeah. So no, it's not overweight. That is due to the fact that I've got no passengers in the rear, and I've only got hand tools. The hand tools do not weigh the equivalent of two people of the average weight of 80 to 90 kilos. Oh, I'm just saying.
Look at him. He's getting all defensive
just
now.
saying. But I've done a lot of driving with budgets. I've had tyres on the cars because I've got caught short and I've had to change a tyre out. And I had not a premium. You've got like little stages. You've got budgets, and then you've got ones that are just above a budget, but a little bit below a premium tyre. So say for your budget was
a budget?
no, it's a super budget.
Or we could have the budgie. It could be cheap.
Well, okay. Say for example, I had a budget which I know I've had a really crap pair of budgets, which the actual make there wasn't a make. Don't know how I got sold them. There was no make. They just had a tyre size. They wore out within like 3,000 miles.
Oh, I've seen some of them. They're like a Yongling Hong song.
Yeah. They were awful. I've also had another one which dealerships do use, which is just called a P60. You ever come across them? Just says P60.
Only when I got sacked.
You're obviously doing something wrong, mate.
No.
But so that had just P60. They probably lasted me around 7,000 miles. They're a tyre that I've not been able to buy off the shelf. I don't know if this is a dealer thing, which they might have a contract with a supplier that is a good tyre, but maybe it's just a tyre they throw on cars to go, right, it's a cheap tyre. The car is being sold with new tyres, so then the buyer looks at it and goes, it's got new tyres.
It's probably worth noting as well that budget tyres they can, I'm not 100% sure, I don't know if it's down to weight, but they can have a lower life than a premium tyre purely because of the compound. They are cheaper for a reason. They haven't got as good quality.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit argumentative because it can be dependent on what you use it for. If I was trying to race around in some premium summer tyres, I'm going to see really, really good grip, but I might not see so much of a lifetime with these tyres. But I'm paying that cost.
Well, you're not. This is, like, if you're watching this video, depending on what you drive, it's my opinion, and I'm sure many others would agree. Like, you're not going to want extra premium tyres on a Renault Zoe. You're going to want to look at the weight rating because electric cars are heavier.
Yeah.
But you're not
going to need that high speed rating.
I think the Renault Zoe does 80 mile an hour top speed.
Yeah, I mean the tyre
downhill.
Yeah, I mean you want to check with your car manufacturer to see what car tyres you're meant to have. Weight rating, load rating. Sorry, what? Both the same thing. Speed rating and load ratings and the correct width of tyre. But it all depends on what you're using it for. I've used a Fiesta for work for the past, say, 8 months. Yeah. I've had the original budgets that the previous owner put on there. The car had been sat for 8 months with these brand new tyres. I used it for 3 months and I had tracking out which I wasn't aware of, and one of the tyres went like within 2,500 miles. I had a budget because I was at the side of the road. I didn't have a spare. It doesn't come with a spare. It just come with that goo. It was brilliant because it come with that goo, but no bloody pump, so I couldn't really do anything. So I was just left stranded. So I had a tyre company come out, and they only had one tyre that would fit my car. I was hoping to go for two because you always want to keep a pair on the same axle. But they gave me it was like a slightly above budget. So the budget I could have got was about £45–50. It's only like a 15-inch rim. Sounds really dirty when you talk about rims like that. I mean, that's just quite a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big rim, 15 inch.
Yeah, train's going to go in that. Anyway, but in the end, I had the cheapest Bridgestone that went on there.
Ooh.
Now, it wasn't expensive. It cost me £80. So when you think of the budget,
what's that on a 15-inch?
that's 165 or 150 or 160. I can't remember.
I think they're 165. Well,
It was either like 165 by 55, 15 or something like that. I can't remember.
I mean, that is expensive for a 15-inch tyre.
But then you've got
which the majority of cars on the road come with. You know, that £80 is. That's a lot of money to me.
I'll tell you what. When I got told £80. I was like, yeah, take my money. That is the cheapest tyre I have brought since buying Part 1s when I was 19 years old.
If you like handing money out like that, I'll even do a little dance.
I'll tell you what, I'll just give you a top tip. I put 4 new tyres on my car. It cost me basically £900. That is because they're a performance car. It's not performance car, it's performance tyres, bigger tyres on a different car, but diesel by TDI.
Yeah.
It's slow, Golf R slow. Oh, sorry, no, it's not.
Don't listen to him. He's lying. He's lying.
Just like them G30s are pretty slow as well.
Anyway, we're going off topic. So, moving on. So, this is the end of the video. If you like this video, please click like, subscribe, and tell us what you thought. Whether you thought we're a pair of dickheads. Whether I need to lose weight, which looking in this camera.
I think we can both do that. It's Christmas.
Yeah,
Christmas. We could.
We could lock down. I've taken up a new hobby. I enjoy eating.
We all do. That's why we look like this.
He eats takeaway every other day.
I don't eat takeaway. Well, yeah.
I eat takeaway probably once a month, and I look like a whale.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I look like I've just got I need a bra now. Yours are supported by the stomach.
These are pecs.
All pectorials.
Pectorials. So anyway, but if you like the video, then please like, subscribe, and
give us feedback. We'd love to know what you want to see, and we hope to see you commenting on our future videos.
Yeah, comment. Tell us what you thought. Whoever you thought. If you want to get rid of me, you want to get rid of him. You know, we can. Don't do him. Anyway. Take care.